A video game 10 years in the making. This is Final Fantasy 15. The tale of four best friends, two great kingdoms at war, and the uprising of a prince with high expectations put upon him. When you start Final Fantasy 15, the game tells you that this is a Final Fantasy made for both new and old fans alike. Now I'm going to be straightforward with you guys, I don't really consider myself a classic Final Fantasy fan. I've played and enjoyed Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 7 Crisis Core, but I was never fully engaged by the turn-based RPG system. Learning that there was a new action RPG battle system similar to Kingdom Hearts got me excited about Final Fantasy 15. So that's just a little background information regarding where this reviewer is coming from. Final Fantasy 15 has you take on the role of Prince Noctis, who goes on a road trip with his best friends to go get married to his childhood friend Luna from the neighboring kingdom. This whole marriage is a political peace offering between Luna and Noctis' two kingdoms, and it quickly falls apart when Luna's kingdom attacks Noctis' kingdom while he's on the road trip. As Noctis' kingdom falls while he's away from home, it's up to him and his best friends to reclaim the throne and find out just what the hell is going on. The Final Fantasy series has always had a great pride and emphasis on their story, but Final Fantasy 15 is weird in the sense that it doesn't always focus on the story or try to explain things right away. For example, it wasn't really until 6 hours into the game that I really started to learn more of the backstories of my best friends in the game. Things that I would have already known if I decided to go watch the Final Fantasy 15 Brotherhood anime that's free online, or Final Fantasy 15 Kingslave the movie. Sure, we get that information eventually in the game, but not as vastly covered nor as quickly in the video game. It's all very strange too, because this game is sold and advertised as being heavily focused on banding together with your brothers and growing close as a team. And although Final Fantasy 15 doesn't go too deep with its story, I somehow still felt a very close connection to Ignis, Prompto aka the best boy, and Gladiolus. Every time we fought together against enemies and monsters, I would hear "good job Noct" or any other form of gratitude or encouragement from my team that felt more like family bonding time than hunting. As the game very slowly started to give me a bit more information regarding the characters and their backstories, I felt closer to them, a better connection to them if you will. It's just too bad that the main story overall between the two kingdoms doesn't really fully branch out until the very last chapters of the game. In terms of the gameplay, Final Fantasy 15 almost feels very much like The Witcher 3, in the sense that you're given this large open world to explore, whether it's doing story missions, side quests, or just long distances that you can travel. If you're crossing long distances, you can travel via car, and this usually takes some time, but once you make the trip once, you can pay to fast travel there instead. For longer off-road travels, you can use chocobos, and these come in handy when you're traveling to caves or dungeons that don't necessarily follow the car roads. Lastly, anything else can be left to be traveled by foot, and it's the more traditional route of traveling, at least when you're exploring the open world. Now, besides the main story, there's no shortage of side quests for you to do. You can help out merchants with their hunting or help harvest food for farmers, for example. In other scenarios, you may be taking over an outpost by the Empire. There's plenty of side missions for you to do, and they're all pretty evenly spaced out throughout the open world. Completing most of the side quests along with the main story will take you anywhere between 60 to 80 hours, while it's going to take you 30 to 40 hours if you only really focus on the main story. The action RPG battle system is pretty simple and easy to get used to. Noctis can hold up to 4 weapons at a time, including magic attacks, all of which are assigned to the D-pad. You can switch between the 4 hotkey weapons with the push of a button, and even reassign them on the D-pad mid-battle as well. I played Final Fantasy 15 on the PS4 Pro, so pressing the square button let me dodge roll and phase through certain attacks if I timed them correctly. Circle is my attack button, and that attacks any enemy I'm locked onto, or the closest enemy if I'm not locked onto anything. Triangle is Noctis' warp attack, and this uses your magic points to let Noctis teleport towards an enemy while performing an attack. This move can also be used to quickly run away from an enemy or find a safe place for you to restore your MP and HP while you're away from battle. Speaking of restoring your HP, you can press R2 at any time during a battle, and this will open up your items menu and actually pause the battle. It's a pretty forgiving feature because it essentially pauses the battle while you restore your health or revive a fallen party member, so you don't do that while you're actually still fighting. Your party members are all AI controlled, but you can command them to perform an attack when your party gauge is filled up. You can use these special attacks to your advantage to get out of a sticky situation with an enemy, or just combo off their attacks afterwards. You can also use summons to call upon the gods to help you mid-battle, but these are usually only specific to certain battles or certain types of conditions in the battle, like the weather for example. They're really cool visual scenes, but other than that, they don't really feel that special since I can't really use them as I please. Diving into the leveling system, you earn XP for a variety of different tasks, fighting enemies, hunting down creatures, completing a side quest or a story quest, or even just feeding a stray cat some food. All of this will earn you some sort of amount of XP. However, what this game does differently is it doesn't actually give you the XP right away. Instead, you can redeem the XP anytime you take a rest. The whole game's basic plot is that you go on this road trip with your best friends, and the developers greatly emphasize this with the level progression system. Anytime you want to redeem the XP you've earned, you have to take a rest, whether it's at a hotel or a camp spot that you make in the middle of the woods. When you do decide to sleep at camp, Ignis can cook the team a meal that'll help boost their stats like strength and health for example. It all very much feels like a road trip as you're just camping out every single day, eating every single day, and then traveling in a car for pretty much multiple times a day, and it all does very much feel like you're traveling with your best friends. Visually speaking, Final Fantasy 15 is a very pretty looking game. Environments are marvels to watch, and you can easily get lost in the visuals while you're just riding down the valley in your chocobo. The game runs at 900p targeting 30 frames per second unless you're on the PS4 Pro, in which it targets more around 1440p running at 30 frames per second. I do want to note though, Square Enix has come out and said that they're working on a December patch that should give you a better advantage if you're playing this on the PS4 Pro, something like giving you a 1080p option with 60 frames per second. Music is pretty great too. The battle themes are really fun and catchy, and even after 40 hours of playing through Final Fantasy 15, I still haven't gotten tired of it. You even have the option to buy music from shops inside the game, and then you can play these songs during the gameplay itself to take over the game's main soundtrack. It's a really nice touch by the developers to give longtime fans of the Final Fantasy series the option to listen to Final Fantasy 7, 8, or even 13's music while you're playing Final Fantasy 15. Now while I did have a lot of fun with Final Fantasy 15, there was a consistent amount of bugs and they were all technical bugs. Whether it's my party members walking endlessly towards a wall, the camera system just working against me mid-battle, or characters cutting each other off mid-sentence when Ignis finds a new recipe while we're also trying to fight something. To put it simply, there's no shortage of technical bugs in Final Fantasy 15. I wouldn't say that any of these were deal breakers for me or better yet game-breaking bugs. They were just things that were really funny to watch that really shouldn't have been there. Or to better put it, small blemishes on a much beautiful larger painting. Final Fantasy 15 is by no means a perfect game or a masterpiece, but it is a great action RPG that kept me wanting to explore and fight with my best friends well after I finished the story. Although the game could have gone deeper into the story in terms of character development and the overall plot, not to mention all the technical bugs, I can't help but enjoy my time with Final Fantasy 15. Even as a very low tier or just mediocre Final Fantasy fan, I had a blast playing Final Fantasy 15, even with all the blemishes on the surface. If you're a fan of the classic Final Fantasy games, I think you may experience a little shock at first, especially with this new entry if you didn't already know what you were getting into. However, I still think you'll find something to love about this game in the long run. For any newcomer to the series or anyone that doesn't really consider themselves a die-hard fan of the series like myself, I'd say that this is definitely still the most approachable Final Fantasy game for newcomers, one that I'd recommend anyone look into if this review was enough to pique your interest. And that does it for my review of Final Fantasy 15. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, smash that like button and let me know what you guys think of the game in the comment section below. I'm always down to discuss different opinions on games, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. While you wait for my next video, you can check out my review of Super Mario Maker for the Nintendo 3DS and my review of the PlayStation 4 Pro console. You can also click on my face to subscribe, click the Twitter icon to follow me on Twitter, and lastly scan my Snapchat code to follow me on Snapchat. Thank you all very much for watching, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.